Because here's what I do also know. I can have a long time 25-year customer, and the minute I say something, do something, they see something that they don't like, guess what? That relationship is over and the times are severed.
Not necessarily. Not that. That's why I'm saying if you do things, if it's always transactional, 25 years it's been transactional. I pay you, you do the service. I pay you, you do the service.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, I'm Michele.
I'm Karamel.
Girlfriend, this is going to be a good show today. I feel it. I've got some things to say.
You always feel it in your bones that it's going to be a good show. That's your MO. Oh, this is going to be a great show today. When are we not going to have a great show?
So today, do you really have to get paid every time you do something, or can free have a little value to it?
What do you mean? I have free value all the time.
Well, two ways to look at that, because one, the way you're talking about how you offer as a part of your offer to offer something free. And then also what I'm talking about is that I had someone do something for me. You know, we have been affiliated for a very long time, and I had an issue. I called them and I said, hey, I need you to handle something for me. And so they did. They sent their team first to handle it, didn't quite get done. Then they came and did it themselves. And I paid the team for coming, but then when they came themselves, there was an additional fee. Wasn't a lot, a little bit of money, but I felt some type of way.
Why? He
Because I
came to
felt
do a
like,
service for you. You didn't feel like it was satisfactory. So you're thinking because of, so that's an American conversation. I said
well,
this to you.
American, let me explain. Let me explain. So when they came themselves, we got to talking, and they told me about some other services that they sponsor and that they offer. And I
Mhm.
was able to take advantage of the other services that were, we're talking, normally I maybe give them about $50. This time I'm going to give about $400. But I felt some type of way about, you see what I'm saying? Coming over and doing that for me, you were able to talk to me and offer your other products. So I don't, I just know some.
Service-based businesses have to rely on the services that they provide for their customers. So if I'm a service-based business, which I think this is what this is, right? It's a
Yes.
service-based business. I have to be paid and compensated for the services that I provide, no matter what that looks like. Now, if it was a bad service, right, what you're saying, you're basing it on customer service that, hey, you came out the first time, it wasn't quite all the way there. I need you to come and fix it. I can understand not wanting to be compensated for that or not wanting to pay for that. But ultimately, when we're talking about a service-based business, they should be paid and compensated for every service that they provide. I'm not even talking about tips and over beyond. To me, this is an American conversation. I always use the story. Living in Europe, very rarely do you tip there in most places. It has become something that people do, but it's because they have been adapted to Americans coming and throwing their money around. And Americans have this idea that the customer is always right. And I don't believe the customer is always right.
And I can agree with that. But so, and I understand that revenue is the lifeblood. You got payroll, investment, you got stability, you got all that going on. You got stuff you got to do. But see, my thing of what I'm talking about is that when you have a relationship with somebody, a customer relationship, and you've had that relationship for a while,
Mhm.
every interaction that you have with them, it's sometimes you can do something for a long-term customer and not be paid for it because it sets it up for even more gain with them, because they were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did this little thing for me. I thought that, I'll give you an example. So I'm an insurance agent, but I also notarize. I can charge for being a notary and charge for notarizing some documents, but a long-time customer, hey, no problem. Oh no, I'll do that for you, no charge. They were like, oh my goodness, I was gonna have to pay for that. You see, you understand what I'm saying? Every interaction doesn't have to be paid for, because later on, when I call for something bigger or greater, that's what I'm talking about. Is $25 to me as a service provider worth all the time getting that $25, or me saying, I'll give you an example. I go to the massage place. Okay. And so they charge what they charge for a massage. Okay. But sometimes they'll give you an extra 5, 10 minutes that they don't charge you for as a little. But I spend a lot of money on the massage, and then it encourages me to come back because I know not all the time, but every now and then they'll be like, they'll do a little extra, like if I say certain area is hurting because I'm a regular customer, they might give me an extra five
Yes,
minutes.
but that's because you're a regular customer and they're providing you above and beyond, again,
That's what I'm
customer
talking
service.
about. This person is,
But
I'm
the
a regular customer.
expectation that someone has to give you more or provide something for free because you're a longtime customer, I think, I had this very argument with one of my longtime customers. She had spent money with me for 3 or 4 years. She ended up coming on one of our group trips, and I'll never forget it. She felt like a lady, we were sharing a pizza, or they had their own pizzas. A lady, we were trying to put it in the refrigerator. She put her hands on that woman's pizza, one of the other travelers. And I'm saying all this, and there is context why I'm saying this. And uh, she didn't want that lady touching her food. That's not what we do in my house. And well, we're in a group setting and you don't know this woman. You're right. Well, she wanted me to cuss the woman out and tell the woman not to touch anything. I said, well, let me buy you another pizza. Let me buy you another pizza and I will, for that conversation. That what didn't do it. She wanted me to tell this woman that you don't touch somebody else's food. Well, she
Well,
was
that's different.
well,
That to me.
here's my point in saying this. She ended up leaving me. I was trying to appease her in any way that I possibly could, and she ended up leaving. So to me, conversation around a service-based business, of whether you do something for free for them or whatever that looks like, is saying that I shouldn't be compensated for what it is that my service that I'm actually providing.
So the point I'm making is not in a situation where they have a complaint or issue. I'm not talking about that.
Mhm.
I'm talking about regular everyday interaction with them. If someone has been a customer of yours, say, I give you an example. If somebody has been a customer of my insurance agency, when I opened 2018, people are gold. I opened in 2018, and the team knows if you are interacting with a 2018 person, that we treat them like gold because that means that person bought into me when I first started. So, with that being said, I can't give them free insurance, but I do have some perks and things that I can offer to them to anytime. If I can, I try to offer it to them. If I have anything going on, I try to provide it to them because they are longtime customers. And that's what I'm talking about. When you have your longtime customers and being able to provide, you do not, in my opinion, you do not have to be paid and compensated for every single thing that you do for that person because in the long run, you can get more business and more value out of them. Now, say you do haircuts, okay? You charge for haircuts. The person comes in, they've been with you 5, 6, 10 years, whatever. They get their normal haircut, you do their beard, you do their face, all that kind of stuff. And so then you say are providing some new services and you say to them, hey, I am providing a new service and you offer them to try it at no charge, just to try it. And they sample it for you and they go, okay.
Well,
Now,
that's a beta. They're giving you no charge because they're trying something new. So the idea is if it goes off great, it's wonderful. But what if it doesn't go off great? I didn't charge you, so no harm, no foul. But you might feel some type of way about it not going great. And now you were a long-term customer. I can't
I
believe
just
you tried that on
I
me.
just feel like when you have longtime customers, and then also I think about there are things that I do, services that I provide sometimes, like sometimes my speaking services. Sometimes I provide those at no charge. I have a fee that I normally charge, but sometimes I'll do an event and not charge because I'm looking for the exposure that I'm going to get from it and the business I'm going to generate from being there. Sometimes I'll do this without a charge, knowing it's setting me up for something later on. So I
Mhm.
just feel like every time, everything you do as a business owner doesn't have to be charged. I've gotten more money off of events that I don't charge for than speaking paid events.
Well, I think that that's the luxury of being a business owner, if we can be really just quite honest, right? The luxury of being a business owner is that you can make a decision and decide when policy does not warrant a charge or anything, right? I think some of these professional services, you feel a certain type of way when they're billing you. Like my attorney, for example, When I get that bill for $608, it's because he's charging me and clocking every second that he's talking to me on that phone. So I'll get these little random $608.29 because of his rate at 350 an hour and how long I actually spoke to him. And that gets broken down. Do I feel like that's a lot? Yeah, but he has no other way to charge for his services other than charging.
And that I understand. Okay, he's got his standard rate. Have no problem. We've agreed to that. Okay. Now, once I've been with him, say now you're in a 25-year relationship with him, and you have given him thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay,
Mhm.
25-year relationship. So you pick up the phone or call or you email him something really quick, a follow up to something, and he gives you a couple of answers and done. It took him less than a minute to respond to handle a situation.
Mhm.
If he chose to do that at no charge, I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm not saying you're requiring him to do that, but I'm just saying every single time when you're dealing with somebody who's giving you and has been with you and has done a lot with you, I don't think every single time necessitates you having to charge them. I feel like at that point, when you're building relationships, I think that's my opinion.
I
When
get
you're
it, and
building,
you're entitled to the opinion. I just think that as Americans, we have this idea that we do not have to, that we deserve customer service. We deserve something extra because of our relationships. I understand why you would want to build those relationships, and it may be a was it quid pro quo where
quid
I
pro
do
quo.
something right when I do that. But at the end of the day, if I'm providing the service and I'm giving you what you offer, I should be compensated for the work that I'm doing.
Okay, so let me give you the example. People come to me all the time for insurance advice. They just ask me the questions like it ain't nothing.
Right.
I get paid to sell insurance. Therefore, should I be compensated every time you call me and ask me a question? I feel like that if I'm
If
giving you
they're a
my
customer, no, but if they were not a customer, absolutely you can charge for that. Not saying that you have to, but again, that's another business decision if you decided you wanted to make that a revenue stream. And
but
I
that's what I'm talking about. So if someone begins to talk to me about insurance and then I charge them for just having a conversation or asking a question, then it's like to
So,
me,
so it's the pick your brain attitude. We read a book about this that we were talking about. Oh, can I just pick your brain? No, what you want is free advice. You want me to give you the answer to the question that you're asking because you know I'm the expert. And so my expert opinion and my expert advice does typically come with value. There is value to what I've learned over the time that I've been in my profession. So no, you cannot just pick my brain. I can decide to have a conversation with you and we can have a conversation and you may be able to glean some of this expertise out of that conversation. But don't come to
so
me talk about you want to pick my brain.
So let's talk about it in the sense of why some service-based businesses offer free consultations. They
Hmm.
come out, they
Well,
provide
let's
you.
talk. So I'm glad you said that, right? My business right now with what I do, I offer a free consultation, a free training, a free class. I do it for 1 hour over 2, 3, 4 days, maybe even 5 days, where a group of people that I have advertised to will come in and they'll get all of the information from my expert advice on how they can do this thing and be in this field. At the end of that, they all know that there's a presentation coming where I'm going to pitch them and tell them, hey, this is what it costs me to give you the expertise that I have. It's free for them to come in. And after I do the event, my expectation is somebody's going to buy my service and my product.
But
When
see,
they
that's what I'm talking about. Like, so you offer that, and that's a tool to get to the
it is,
next,
it's a
where get to
mechanism.
the money. Okay, that's what I mean by sometimes when you have a long time customer, sometimes you give them something at no cost to get to more money with them to grow the relationship and
Or
to
sometimes you just give it, not even worried about the relationship. Just last night, my people who have given me the money were in class, and one of the ladies asked for one of my Morocco trips or something. She asked for an itinerary. Well, I didn't have the itinerary. Megan's like, you can't give that away, girl. You can't keep giving that away. You can't keep giving them information. And I said, well, they'd already paid for what they had paid for. What was the reason for me not to? Because it didn't matter to me
because it was your service. That's what I'm talking about. It was a service you could provide to them But see, what you were just saying is that, hey, they wanted something, so I should charge them again for that. No, they have already done business with you, so it was nothing for you to give them that
Correct.
little that little trinket, and then they saw value. So now, if you've built a good relationship with them, and so now they know that if they do business with you again or some more business with you, that, oh, Caramel, I love her because she doesn't hold anything
Well,
back.
I think that
That's what I'm saying.
every customer needs to know the expectation is that you're going to pay for whatever it is that I'm providing. When I say it needs to be provided. I only want what I paid for. I don't need you to do anything extra for me.
I fully understand. I have no I have no expectation beyond what you say. I'm just saying that how I feel about our relationship is in doing business with you. Okay, because I'll give you another example. In doing business with me, this person has picked up other business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like because you are affiliated with me, other people, you have picked up a lot of other business.
Hmm.
Okay. And have grown and it's gotten bigger and whatever. And so all I'm saying is that when somebody is a catalyst for you to getting other business, and it does not hurt to do things for them and not always charge. I'm not saying that you have to me, I think that that's how you build relationships. That's how you continue your business. And now I'm not saying they got to do their service all the time free for me. I'm not saying that at all. But I think there's value in doing some things and not expecting pay sometimes.
I
I feel like
understand.
it will
That sounds like charity to me. So I would absolutely, I like charity. I like to give away and do some things. That sounds like charity
wait a
to me.
minute. Did you say that sound like charity?
That's what you're saying. You're actually asking me to be charitable in my for what it is that I do for a living because
Think
of
about it like
what
this.
the magnitude of the relationship that could be. Because here's what I do also know. I can have a long time 25-year customer, and the minute I say something, do something, they see something that they don't like, guess what? That relationship is over and the times are severed.
Not necessarily. Not that. That's why I'm saying if you do things, if it's always transactional, 25 years it's been transactional. I
Mhm,
pay you, you do the service. I pay
mhm.
you, you do the service. Yes, at 25 years, the minute you mess up, the relationship is over because we have not built any relationship. It's transactional. But throughout that 25 years, if you have done and built and we've talked and dealt, and every now and then you did something that you didn't have to do for me, you took care of me, when something happens, I now can look at it and go, you know what? Caramel and I have rocked for 25 years. She's always taken care of me. Let me talk to her. Let me have a dialogue with her. And now they will give you the benefit of the doubt because it has not been just one-sided transactional. That's what I mean by the goodwill that you're putting into the relationship with customers so that when I go up on rates, they stay with me because we have built the relationship. They have called, we've
Or
helped, we've
may
done.
or maybe they want, it depends. Even in great relationships, things. I literally had a young lady who I had been mentoring for years. Elias is 16, so you're talking about 14, 15 years. And over the years, we had become really fast friends. She could pick my brain, we could have conversation. I thought the relationship was great. She had one situation where now I have to make a business decision that is not a decision that would be more emotional, but really impactful for my business. And this young lady won't speak to me anymore. She doesn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. All the years that had been built up of me providing her services, giving her money, giving back, feeding her soul, feeding what her business would look like, giving her all of this really valuable information where I was one of the folks who she would consider a mentor. Because of a business decision, she is no longer in my life. And I thought to myself, she didn't think about all of the years. Some people are emotional that way. So listen, in this situation, what you're talking about, I don't mind giving someone any of that extra whenever I feel like I want to give that extra. But I'm never giving the extra with the expectation or thought that because that they have to, because the minute I do that is the minute I can feel some type of way about what we're dealing with.
And I'm not saying they have to. I want to be clear about that. In a business, let's look at it like this. Paid work funds your mission. You got to get paid because that's your mission.
Mhm.
The business has got to be funded.
Yeah.
But the free work expands your mission.
Yeah, that's
You
the
understand?
charity you're talking about.
Yeah, charity, however I feel like, don't y'all feel like she put a little stank on that, the way she's saying it, a little
You
stank.
know, it's because I think in this moment in season, especially when times get a little harder and people's pocketbooks are a little bit, they close, they don't open them very often for anybody. When that is happening, the idea is that you do have to do a little bit more of that zhuzhing, that, let me
But
give you
see,
a
if
little.
you're doing it all the time, that's what I'm talking about. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So that's what I'm looking
100%.
at. That's what I'm looking at, is that, okay, we're getting ready to go through hard times. Insurance rates are skyrocketing, okay? And because they're skyrocketing, all I can offer now is my service and how we treat you and how we make you
Sure.
feel. Had a gentleman come into the office the other day, and he had been to a couple of other places in person, didn't like the way they made him feel when he came in. Came in our office, he liked the way we made him feel, how we greet, how we interact, and he
Mhm.
chose to do business with us. We were not the cheapest, but it's because of what we provided, the judging that we provided.
It is, right.
So those are the things that you have to be mindful. Relationship, relationship, relationship. I'm in sales. Relationship, relationship, relationship. At my other business that I have, I stay full. I keep a wait list. And it's because how we treat people. When people are late on their rent, I don't say, oh, don't worry about it. You ain't. I said, let's work a plan out. Let's break that out over 3 weeks. You pay this amount and boom, you're back on track. Hey, I try to work with people. I try to understand what's going on. Try to talk to them. I tell them, communicate. And a lot of people, they're a little bit a different generation that I am. You say I'm an ageist,
You are an age. 100% your age.
but we communicate differently. But I've learned to communicate their language and their way. And so that's all I'm talking about, is that free strategy meetings, review what you can cut and keep. That helps. That can get you to more business. Don't always look out. My motto is I operate with an open hand. I can give and receive.
Mhm.
Give and receive. And so if you're always closed, I got to get paid.
Well,
I
we
got
can
to.
take it to the audience. I'm curious, what do you all think? I mean, is there value in giving away some of those free services? Who do you give it to? Is there a criteria? Because I will say this, I didn't have VIP clients, but I had clients that spent a lot of money with a large lifetime value, but I treated them, and the little extra perks that I gave them would have been what I would give anybody, but I made sure that each time they got the same feeling that they got the first time.
That's it. That's the key. How you make, it's not what you said
100%.
to them, is how you made them feel. This may be something you do for everybody. You may give everybody a free
The same, because
every
when you
15.
do it the same way every time, you never miss out on any money because everybody's being treated the same. My example of that, I tell my students all the time. When we might be on a walking tour. They've given me $5,000 for a Morocco trip, and we're in Morocco on a walking tour, and it's hot as bejesus outside, and everybody, you can see the faces on the group, they're miserable. Walk into a gelato shop and say, hey everybody, gelato on us. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Well, guess what? I had that $10 budget for snacks in my budget. They already paid for it. We just walked in.
But you
I
could have
didn't tell
told
them.
them.
I
But you
didn't
could have
tell
told them
them.
they got to pay $10. Okay, it's gonna be $10 and they would have still been like, oh, okay. But that little $10 goes along with, that's all I'm talking about. You gave them a little something. It was a very small fee to do it, and it was already built in, but it made them
The
feel.
gesture. So what you're talking about is the gesture. That to me, that's optics. The optics of me.
That's what I'm talking about. Give me the optics. I've been with you 15, 20 years. Give me the optics. Michelle, hey, you were there for 10, 15 minutes. Don't worry about it. No, don't worry about that. The
Human
optics.
nature is so funny to me because when we are looking for that, I'm hearing this. I just read an article. They were talking about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. They had went to some kind of seminar, and at that seminar, when they were very young, some of the big name forces in Google and all those places when they were young, they talked about priming. And so, to me, this is what we were thinking about. We're talking about priming, and I need the definition of priming. Let's get a full definition because I want to make sure that I'm saying it right. I'm gonna look it up.
Because it sounds like you're talking about grooming. So
Priming it's the act of always looking for what is going. Okay, priming meaning. There we go. It is A substance that prepares something for use in action. What is priming in psychology? That's what we want. It's when mental representations of concepts are activated by a person's exposure to something that those concepts are related to. So the priming example would be if I'm in Amazon, the click button, click to buy button. If I click it, my card is there, boom, it's already bought. I don't have to think about it, go to a cart, put my address, put my phone number, I can just click and boom, I paid for it. That is priming. You are the psychology of that. And I think what we're talking about is just that we are psyching the person into understanding that we do above and beyond. We give more than what we give you more. We give you
I
a
feel
handout.
good when I interact with Michele. It makes me feel good. I want more of that feel good. I want more of those dopamines to feel good when I'm
Correct.
interacting with Michele. And so I tell you what, we'll take this to the audience and we'll say, if you guys have a comment, please comment and click like and share and comment. What do you think? Is does everything you do have to be paid, or do you do some free things? So say it like this. Tell us the smartest free thing you ever did that paid off big. How
Oh,
about that?
got it.
Well, best friend, I've enjoyed bantering with you today. I feel
Is
like
this
we
a
were not on
banter?
this.
Is this what this was? It wasn't no argument? Because it feel like a little bit of argument is what I feel like to me.
We never argue. We were just doing some strong bantering today. So
Awesome. Love you, best friend.
love you too. Have a great day.